Each day in courthouses across the country, victims of domestic violence are petitioning courts for orders of protection, often called an emergency, temporary, or ex parte protective order. These orders direct the alleged abuser or respondent to stop the abuse. To be enforced, emergency protective orders must be served on and delivered to the respondent. Unfortunately, these orders designed to protect adult and child victims often become the catalyst for more violence. In addition to obtaining a protective order, victims need to know when the orders have been served so they can better protect themselves and their families.
As a family court judge, I chair a local fatality review process that examines all local domestic violence-related homicide cases. During the review process, it became clear that serving a protective order on a respondent may not be enough to protect victims from harm. We realized that there was often a considerable lapse in time before the victim knew that the protective order had been served on the respondent. VINE protective order grew out of the lessons learned from this fatality review process. We felt that keeping victims informed when a protective order is served on respondents may actually save lives. VINE protective order was created and is powered by APRIS, a trusted partner of victims and government agencies throughout the country.
This video will show you how VINE Protective Order works to keep victims informed. But victims aren't the only ones to benefit from this service. It can also help law enforcement officers, advocates, court personnel, and others who serve domestic violence victims. Once a protective order is served on the respondent, it can become more dangerous for the victim. The protective order makes the violence public and sets controls and limits on the respondent, who may become angry and retaliate against the victim. Victims are not routinely notified when the order is served, requiring them to follow up on their own. They often have to make repeated calls to find this information. They may be directed to call different agencies, heightening their level of confusion and frustration. At the same time, law enforcement agencies may feel inundated with inquiries about new and existing protective orders. Having to field these questions and access accurate and timely information can be very time-consuming. Victims also get overwhelmed with remembering court dates while trying to protect their lives, care for their families, or return to work. Further, protective orders have expiration dates. Long-term protective orders issued after a hearing may be effective for years. Expiration dates don't always signal protection is no longer needed, but once expired, the order is no longer enforceable. Victims may need to be reminded of the pending expiration date so they may consider returning to court for an extension of their protection. Usually, these requests have to be on the court docket at least a month before the order expires in order to ensure continuous protection. Petitioners register by using the court case number on their protective order. To protect their confidentiality, they are required to establish a 4-digit PIN. By using a touch-tone phone and calling a toll-free 24-hour number, victims can register with VINE Protective Order to be notified after the emergency protective order is served. Where available, registration may also be completed online using the same information. Victims, advocates, and other authorized VINE Protective Order users may also assist victims in the registration process. Regardless of how registration takes place, victims can register multiple notification phone numbers and may also receive email notifications. VINE Protective Order accesses specific protective order information that has been entered into a new or existing secure database. Once the order is served on the respondent, the VPO database should be immediately updated. This may happen manually or through an established data interface. Using the case number, the petitioner's registration is then matched with the served order and a notification is triggered within minutes of the update. With one registration, notifications may be triggered for future events, such as hearings and order expiration for both the temporary order and full or permanent orders if they are issued. Petitioners often have additional questions about their protective orders. Trained operators are accessible to assist callers 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The operators respond to questions, give information, and may provide victims with referrals and resources. VPO has the capability to provide program administrators with immediate access to statistical reports, including the number of notifications and registered petitioners who are benefiting from the program.
In my community, We too often read about the tragedies. And this is a system that's designed to prevent them, does prevent them, it does work. We've received several comments from victims who come back. They've told us. And what it does best is it keeps our victims safe from terrible events happening to them again.
VINE Protective Order gives petitioners an additional tool they need to make informed decisions about their safety and the safety of those around them. This important service is made possible through innovative technology solutions and community partnerships to enhance victim and public safety.